I've always hated the unending lull of the planet Suver, but at this moment, my distaste flared with the force of a supernova. The wind howled like a wild beast as I sprinted through the twisting alleyways of the shadow-riddled city of dialects, the pulsating hum of energy barriers creating an eerie vibrato beneath my feet. Smoke curled upwards from a collapsed building, the acrid scent mingling with the metallic tang of our world's atmospheric doda. I had to get to the reactor chamber before the Fifth Collective breached our defenses, but the more pressing dread was far too personal. "Talek!" I shouted, panic bubbling beneath the surface of my voice. He'd promised me he wouldn't engage. My heart raced, pounding against my ribs as I judged the curvature of the alley ahead. A quick glance to my right revealed the distant blue aura of the reactor chamber glowing like a beacon of hope. My brother's stubbornness had led him here, and now it might cost him everything. Again. I skidded to a halt when I rounded the corner. An electric charge zapped through the air in front of me. The street was littered with fragments of broken Vetsian drones, clanks of metal correlated with the crackling energy leaking from their high-tech circuits. The Fifth Collective. A voice boomed from the opposite side, and for an instant, my chest fell heavy with dread. The intensity of the collision between us and the Fifth Collective, whose crude technologies and warped ideologies sought to pillage our society, was palpable. They wanted control, and the swirling energies around the reactor chamber was their ticket. I thought of the countless lives at stake, including Talek's, where his unyielding allegiance to the shadows could mean his end. Would he even care if it did? Gritting my teeth, I dashed toward the reactor chamber, freshly liberated particles of energy crackling through the air like venomous fangs. Each echoing step melded with flashes of deep-rooted memories. Talek's laughter from our childhood, the way he'd shared secrets of the Star Soul. The elusive existence said to be hidden within the reactor's core. He always dreamed of harnessing its power, even at the risk of one day inviting destruction. "Get back here!" I screamed into the chaos, my voice nearly swallowed by the wind. If I didn't reach him quickly, he would do something reckless, again. Breaking into the reactor chamber, I found a grim tableau waiting. Talek and a group of scattered rebels faced off against the ominous silhouettes of the Fifth Collective operatives. The round chamber was lit by streaks of blue and green light, illuminating the cascading energy streams snaking along the walls, whispering secrets of cosmic phenomena I scarcely understood. The hum resonated deeper than the surface, arcing with the potential for discovery, power, or obliteration. Talek's resolute stance was a betrayal of our shared childhood. He'd become so entrenched in the allure of conquest and the shadows that, in this moment, I hardly recognized him. "Talek, you have to listen to me." My voice cracked as desperation consumed me. The only comfort I found amid the growing tension was the constant warmth radiating from the reactor's core, pulsing like a heartbeat in the darkness. "We're not backing down, Asha. We have a chance to take back what's ours," he declared, his eyes afire with zeal. "What's yours, or what's ours? You think you can master the unknown. You don't even see the danger in this. They won't stop until we're hollowed out." His expression faltered, but only for a moment. "I can't be painted into a corner again, Asha. Not by the collective, not by this pathetic life." His words sparked a tumult of emotion within me. Beneath the bravado, I saw the flicker of fear. The same fear I felt before every battle. Before I could respond, a flicker of movement drew my gaze. The Fifth Collective closed in from every side, their helmets glinting menacingly. Each figure became less human and more a creature of brute machinery, all too eager to plunge us into chaos. If I didn't act quickly, I wouldn't just lose Talek. I'd lose a chance to secure the future he so blindly threatened. "Step back." I yelled and instinctively reached for the pulse of energy I felt resonating through the reactor chamber, its call tinging my skin with static dread. With one determined thrust, I accessed the control panel, a mad throbbing of impulses synchronized with my heartbeat. "We'll unleash the Star Soul." The scattered rebels looked at me in shock, but I saw the glimmers of hope in their eyes. Talik's jaw clenched, disbelief flickering on his face. "Oh, what? You can't control that. If we're to survive this." The vibration escalated, and the barriers between our worlds began to tremble, reality blurring against a canvas of unknown. As energy coursed through me, a revelation sliced through the chaos like a laser. Within that reactor, the answer to our existence, our mastery over the unknown, thrummed just beneath our fingertips. All at once, the stakes escalated beyond the two of us. Would we harness it together, or would we destroy it in pursuit of our own stubbornities? Before I could finish, the chamber quaked violently. Too much energy was gathering, and there I stood, at the crux of destiny. My world had gone insane, and we all teetered on the edge of annihilation. I had two options: protect Talik and dive headfirst into the unknown, or unleash the power that could seal our fates forever. My breath hitched at the realization. It was a choice we'd all have to make. And as much as it terrified me, I wasn't about to let him go down this path alone. Especially not when the universe had such chaos to offer. If only we could endure the storm ahead. The chamber suddenly crackled with energy, the air thickening around us like a shroud. It pulsed in rhythm, nudging the boundaries of our reality, as images of what could be flickered across my mind. I grasped the console tighter, its cool metal thrumming against my palms like a heartbeat eager to join the frenzy. "Talik, we need to work together," I urged, my voice barely piercing through the resonating hum of the reactor. "If we can stabilize this energy, we can channel the Star Soul safely. We need to unlock its secrets, not let it consume us." His gaze flickered from me to the storm brewing outside the reactor's conduit. "You're playing with fire, Asha. We might die if we misstep. I won't let the Fifth Collective take this from us either. We need to strike first." A flash of insight stung me. The thoughts voiced by Talik were not just reckless bravado, but a desperation that echoed my own. We were both trapped between the allure of power and the understanding that too much recklessness could shatter everything. Rage surged through me, but below that, a creeping dread of failure gripped my heart. "Do you think we can just control it?" I replied, the tension in my voice resonating like raw energy. "What if it takes everything from us? What if it demands a sacrifice?" A blinding surge of blue light erupted, dominating the chamber, knocking me back several feet before I regained my footing. Talik stumbled, catching himself against the reactor wall, eyes wide and entranced by the radiance emanating from the core. I grabbed his arm, dragging him back into focus. "Stop this," I cried. "We need to connect, share the synchronization to control it. We have to think together." The ambient energy surged in agreement, as if it recognized a call to unite. Slowly, Talik's wild expression softened, mingling contempt and a peculiar understanding. He nodded, albeit reluctantly. "Fine," he whispered, "but if this goes badly, I won't go down without taking them with us." He turned to face the incoming storm of collective units. His dark mood seeped into my own, a twin reflection of fear and anger. "We do this together, Talik. No more secrets." As we positioned ourselves closer to the console, I felt the underlying current of connection between us, a bond forged through years of shared dreams and fears. I glimpsed memories oscillating like spectral whispers, the late, night discussions about the stars, schemes for brighter tomorrows, and even the way we'd relied on one another when darkness encroached in the corners of our home. With a rapid series of commands, I shifted the power alignment on the console, sending tendrils of blue energy arcing through the room. Talik followed suit, placing his hands alongside mine, our fingers dancing along the intricate matrix of glowing symbols. A warmth enveloped us, the reactor responding to our combined effort, surging with life. "Just like we practiced all those years ago," I murmured, barely breathing as the dance of energy grew more frenzied. "Feel it, there's balance in chaos." Suddenly, the floor shook violently as the barricaded wall shattered. The Fifth Collective surged in, a fearsome combination of swords and mechanized suits, their energy shields crackling menacingly. "Seize them," barked their imposing leader, cloaked in shadows. The moment of truth unfolded, a whirlwind of purpose surged through me. "Now," I yelled, and we both fed the reactor energy. weaving a tapestry of light that surged across the room, colliding with the collective forces. A blinding brilliance erupted, slamming into the collective operatives like a radiant wave. They screamed as their weapons flickered, unable to withstand the intensity. The energy knitted itself together like strands of pure brilliance, creating a barricade against our assailants. The rebels, hiding in the periphery, stared wide-eyed as if witnessing a sorcerous act. "Do it, do it," Talik shouted, his voice layered with fervor. "We can force them back." Gripping the moment, I coaxed the energy upward. It spiraled up and out, spilling raw power across the chamber. The fifth collective struggled against it, their shields flickering, then breaking like glass against an unseen force. I saw chaos etched upon their faces. The machine and man were unwound, fears laid bare. Talik's laughter merged with power, an exuberant dance of siblings woven into the ethereal tapestry. Together, we maneuvered, surrounded by radiant light. The collective energy became almost tangible, manifesting as soft bursts against the chaos, drawing even more force from the reactor as we faced our enemies. But then something shifted. My heart seized. The reactor's feedback churned violently. "Talik, the energy is too much. It's wrenching itself apart." His eyes widened, realization dawning. "We need to release some, tame it before it overwhelms us. Can we even control it?" I shouted, struggling to sense the chaos beginning to eclipse what we had wrought. "Breathe," he insisted. Focus. In despair, I poured away the excess energy, sending it spiraling toward the ceiling. Sparks cascaded down like glitter. The air thickened, the currents snapping into stability. For a moment, the chamber felt serene amidst the storm, until I glanced back to the massive doors, where more figures loomed. The collective took the bait. I yelled, realizing their leader initiated something deeper, a grim juxtaposition against our newfound unity. A new flood of shadowy soldiers burst inside, charging toward us with determined malice. "Are we too late?" Talik asked, stepping closer. "No," I shouted, anchoring our unified will again. "We've barely even started." With conviction, a chilling determination gripped me. I closed my eyes. The energy felt like a living thing, an expansive consciousness I could almost hold. Together, I shouted out, breathing in the embers of defiance. We thrummed with dynamism again, pushing forward, deflecting the harrowing rush of the collective as we struck first. An extravagant beam of energy shot forth from our combined palms, cutting through the advancing troops, forcing them backward. Each surge drew a careful line, striking like a whip. "Keep them at bay," Talik yelled, gritting his teeth as he remained locked into our union. But as warriors fell and chaos reigned, a new voice echoed from the shadows behind the collective leader. A soft, melodic voice that sent chills up my spine. "Stop. Stop this madness now." A cloaked figure emerged, accentuated by the glowing tapestries that surrounded us. Her presence was calming, powerful, and unmistakably captivating. She raised her arm, and ripples of energy reverberated from her fingertips, drawing the roiling chaos to a standstill. "Tilamu, you reckless fool," the cloaked leader admonished, tempering the storm that raged around us. "It is not too late to turn back," the newcomer implored. She turned her penetrating gaze on me, transcending the chaos. "You may understand the Star Soul more than you know. Embrace what is true and make a choice." In that moment, everything hung in balance, a crossroad where decisions loomed like shadows and light, where the allure of power beckoned while truth wrestled against ambition. This encounter was unexpected, a promise of revelations that would shape not just this moment, but the essence of who we were meant to become. "Join us, embrace the truth, and together we can reshape our tomorrow," she urged, the resonance of her voice layered with promise. "Or continue down this destructive path and lose everything." Talik clenched his fists, a tremor of confusion crossing his expression. "This is your choice, Esha," he said, with a whisper of doubt and urgency. "What will it be?" The question rattled through me, and glimmers of possibility spiraled through my mind as the course of our destinies hung precariously in the air. I grasped the strength coursing through my veins alongside Talix as he stood beside me, unwavering even amidst uncertainty. Together, I replied softly, locking eyes with him. Whatever comes, we face it together. And as the chamber erupted once more with a resounding declaration of our choice, the path unraveled before us, each ending a new beginning, each struggle a prelude to unseen truths. Standing on the precipice of the universe's mysteries, I had never felt more alive, more determined. The questions lingered thick like a fog surrounding us, heavy yet brimming with potential. Who was the cloaked figure? What untold power and devastating truths sat within the reactor's core? Our journey had only just begun as we ventured deeper, propelled by both dreams of the past and threads of a future yet to be woven. It was an electric moment, entirely suspended in time as the cloaked figure stood before us. The energy emanating from the reactor pulsed in tandem with the beating of my heart. She moved with grace, her robes billowing as though they were woven from the very fabric of the cosmos itself. "My name is Seraphina," she intoned, her voice liquid and rich, echoing through the chamber as though harmonizing with the reactor's hum. "And I am the guardian of the Starsoul's legacy." The words sent a ripple through the air, igniting whispers of potential buried deep within the chamber's walls. Talix's expression morphed from defiance to surprise, his brows knitting together in skepticism. "The guardian," he echoed, disbelief lingering on his tongue. "You expect us to trust you? What have you done to this endless power to claim such a title? The truth is what you seek, Talic." "I've done nothing, yet I have witnessed the cycle of history repeat itself time and again. The Starsoul's power reflects the essence of choice, and it has influenced those who sought it. Many have aspired to wield it for domination, while a select few have understood its purpose, transformation." Transformation? My voice, scaled by a sudden mixture of curiosity and caution, pierced the tension in the room. "What exactly do you want from us? Why reveal yourself now, amidst this ruin?" "Because, Asha, the choice before you is profound," Seraphina replied. "The energy within the reactor possesses consciousness, a will of its own, intertwined with the destinies of those who dare to touch it. It seeks a worthy union, a deliberate connection forged in understanding and harmony." Her gaze burned into mine, igniting a flicker of recognition deep within me. "This potential lies dormant within you both." As I heard her words, I sensed the very essence of the reactor thrumming around us. The era of pursuing mere power had birthed a new possibility, one that transcended raw dominance. However, there was no denying the uncertainty that lingered. I glanced at Talic, who struggled against his own tempest of emotions, confusion mixing with ambition, vulnerability overshadowed by defiance. "What happens if we refuse?" Talic finally questioned, his resolve flickering. "Will you unleash this Starsoul to the forces of the collective? Are we expected to merely accept a destiny preordained by some ancient prophecy?" "No," Seraphina said firmly. "Your power is not about dictation. It's about choice and consequence, and wielding that truth carefully. If you refuse, the reactor will return to its dormant state, and though you may remain whole, the galaxy around you will continue to spiral into chaos and unrest. The Fifth Collective will claim what they believe is theirs, and the stars will bear witness to the continued violence of conquest." I swallowed hard, feeling the weight of her words. It forced me to confront everything I had known. The dilemmas we faced pulsed as strongly as the energy within the reactor. The notion of relinquishing control in favor of something more expansive. A flickering ember of hope ignited in my chest. Perhaps it was the very aspect of risking everything that could yield unpredictably glorious results. What if we emerge as greater than temporary victors? What if I began, my voice trembling as I grasped the flicker of understanding in the air? What if Talic and I can unite our hearts here, offering ourselves to the essence of the Starsoul and becoming true guardians? Smiles stretched across Seraphina's face, a glimmer of appreciation igniting within her depths. "You speak the language of creation. To bind with the Starsoul is to transcend mere ambition. It will not be easy, but it will forge a new destiny, one containing the power to restore balance as much as to unleash devastation." "Then let's do it." Talic's sudden fire reignited, cutting through his earlier hesitation. Yet, an undeniable weight loomed over his decision. His brow darkened, betraying the internal struggle of ambition's noose tightening around his heart. But there are still the collective. What if we create a target on our backs? Together, we can repel them, Serafina assured, her authority blazing. But you must choose now. The reactor anticipates your commitment, and time is short. Each moment spent lingering pushes copycat ambitions closer to their own ruin. Lightning spiraled through the skies above us, illuminating the chamber, intensifying the moment as the ground quaked beneath our feet. In that brief chaos, I reached for Talik again, the connection between us shimmering like threads of fate, weaving together. We can show them another way, a path rooted in understanding, a voice from the dust of our past, striving to preserve the future. He hesitated for a heartbeat before his tormented eyes softened. You're right, but that doesn't erase the choices that haunt me. I let the shadows cloud my judgment. The acceptance clung to his words, wearing the cloak of raw vulnerability. But I trust you. If there is even a fleeting chance this will grant us strength, we can stand together against those who will misuse it. Let's do this. With a surge of conviction, he stepped closer, intertwining his essence with mine, a melding of thoughts and hearts and hopes. The reactor throbbed, resonating with our commitment, the energy dancing chaotically along the lines of our connection. A halo of brilliant light enveloped us, revealing the truths buried deep in forgotten corners of the cosmos. Offer yourselves to the Star Soul, Serafina urged, her voice weaving through the brightness. Through unity, become catalysts of change. As we centered ourselves, I closed my eyes, grounding myself in the vibrant energies swirling around us, a potent fusion of knowledge and foresight. I envisioned warmth and clarity enveloping the stars, a vision in which people came together in understanding, seeking knowledge instead of conquest. Together, we will reclaim our starlit legacy and not just harness power but redefine what it means to reach for the stars, I whispered, feeling a pulse of thrilling energy surging through my heart, merging with Talik's. For every loss, we will find connection. For every betrayal, a lesson rooted in resilience. The energy in the chamber swelled until it was almost unbearable, pulsating like a star on the cusp of explosion. I dove deeper into my connection with Talik, allowing the energy to resonate into a heartbeat between us, drawing from our vulnerability and strength alike. I reached into the reactor's depths, unlocking the potential of countless destinies tethered within. By the power of our hearts, we accept you. We shouted in unison, the reverberation echoing through the chamber, bouncing off the walls like celestial resonances crossing through the galaxies. In an instant, the energy surged back, brighter than before. I could feel the Star Soul responding, recognizing us as worthy vessels, a symbiotic bond, igniting a new wave of potential swirling through the chamber. Wrapping ourselves in its embrace, the chaos around us began to break and reform, reshaping into something profound. As the brightness enveloped us, we glimpsed threads of futures untold, longings set aflame, and destinies intertwining in breathtaking patterns. Images of the past surfaced, individuals joining hands across the universe, echoes of countless generations united in shared purpose. The laughter of children amidst crumbled ruins igniting hope, forging alliances among the stars. Let it begin, Serafina exclaimed, her firm voice anchoring us as the energy peaked. I could feel the power of choice swirling, fusing through Talik and myself, then bursting forth, radiant tendrils stretching toward the collapsing walls, repairing the fractures, igniting echoes of renewed connection. Yet even amidst this newfound brightness, the shadows outside lingered ominously. The fifth collective had yet to be shaken off, their shadows still waiting and watching at the precipice of our creation, their relentless ambitions poised to reclaim what they believed was their destiny. The answer lay before us. The reactor illuminated pathways previously shrouded in darkness. And as the light retreated and settled as a glimmering aura around us, the reality of who we were began to unfold. Our emotions allied with purpose, we would harness this union and take the fight to the collective lying in wait. Only in moments of creation did we have the chance to challenge destruction. Together, Talik and I had forged inseparable bonds with the star soul at our back. We could face the looming shadows of inevitability. The reactor had offered us glimpses, a tantalizing thread of possibility woven amid the swirling chaos. Before long, the full force of the fifth collective would come crashing through. But we weren't merely victims anymore. We were architects of our fate, driven to reclaim what had once been taken. "Prepare yourself," Italic shouted, determination coursing through him. "We are more than mere sparks. We are the constellation of hope." And as the lights flickered, our power erupted forth once more. The storm of energy enveloped us as we braced for the confrontation ahead, ready to challenge everything the collective represented, prepared to honor our legacy and fashion a new future under the stars. Tension hung thick in the chamber as we harnessed the surge of energy from the star soul, permeating through our bodies and binding us together in resolve. The radiant aura surrounded us flickered and pulsed, reflecting the calls of our past, a unified force crafted from pure connection and purpose. My heart quickened with each surge, and I could feel Talik's resolve echoing through the shared energy. We were no longer simply siblings seeking to reclaim our world. We had become embodiments of hope itself, standing on the cusp of a cosmic battle against the darkness of the fifth collective. "Then we shall not falter," Talik shouted, his voice breaking the lingering silence. The words reverberated against the walls of the reactor chamber, rallying the scattered rebels who observed our transformation, their expressions a mixture of confusion and awe. "They seek to strip us of everything we hold dear. This ends now. Together we will become a force to be reckoned with." Outside the chamber, shadows lurked at the brink, the promise of conflict drawing closer. I could sense the pulsations of their energy barriers as they moved like predators, guns drawn, ready for the taste of blood. The air crackled with the approaching storm, an undeniably tangible threat that ignited flickering nerves and born fears, giving rise to unyielding courage. "Seraphina, what can we expect from them?" I asked, the pulse of uncertainty thrumming beneath the steadiness we had forged. "They've come prepared. We must be ready to meet their chaos with deliberate purpose." Seraphina's gaze remained steady as she surveyed the horizon beyond the reactor chamber. "They are corrupted by ambition, but underestimating you will become their demise. They will attempt to exploit your weaknesses, but you now wield the truths of your past. The energy will respond to your deepest intentions. They cannot prevail against a heart that is bound to steel with purpose." Her words ignited something fierce within me, fanning the embers of resolve. I glanced at Talik, and despite the uncertainty that lingered, I felt an unbreakable connection, a defiant spark that would not yield. "We face them together," I said softly, my voice barely above a whisper. "Well, always," he echoed, fervor igniting in his eyes as he turned toward the chamber's exit. "Let them think they can divide us. We will harness this energy, channel it, and reveal the truth they wish to bury. We are resilience. We are destruction turned creation." As we moved toward the threshold, Seraphina raised her hands, channeling a portion of the reactor's energy into us. A symbiotic exchange that surged through my bones. It empowered me, electric sensations tingling beneath my skin. "Breathe deeply, bond with the energy," she instructed. "Channel your strengths wisely." The doors of the chamber trembled, and a force beyond our comprehension began to press against it. The collective was almost upon us, the darkness looming just a heartbeat away. Talik stepped forward, bringing his hands together, allowing the energy to meld into his palms as he prepared to receive what the Star Soul offered. An explosion shattered the air as the doors flung wide open, revealing the fifth collective. Their sleek machinery glinting in the chaos, their leader, an ominous figure clad in dark armor, lingering behind waves of mercenaries. "Adventurers from the shadows, did you think we would simply allow you to disrupt our plans?" Their leader boomed, their voice a chilling echo. "You wield powers you cannot comprehend, and you presume to challenge our dominion over this world." In unison, Talik and I ignited the energy we had harnessed, channeling it forward. The vivid blue brilliance surged towards the collective, We are more than you could fathom, Talik declared fiercely. This is our world, and we will not allow you to poison it with your greed. An incandescent barrier materialized, melting against the advancing dark forces, the very essence of the star soul rising to meet their menace. The impact reverberated, sending shockwaves of energy rippling outward. The collective troopers wavered, temporarily stunned by the force we unleashed. Now, I shouted, and as we united once more, the vibrancy of the energy surged higher, still filling the depths of the reactor with our unifying purpose. Our bond became a conduit directing the tide of brilliance toward the advancing collective. We charged forward together. I could feel Talik's energy intertwining with mine. Beneath the haze of chaos, I caught glimpses of memories, our shared laughter beneath the stars, dreams of adventure igniting a sense of wonder. In this battle, amid shimmering pain, we had aspirations that surpassed mere survival. It was freedom to reshape our narratives, to craft our destinies. As the collective retaliated, their weapons firing in a synchronized rhythm, we seamlessly adjusted our energy field. Trust the bond, I shouted as we wove through their onslaught, swerving and dodging the incoming blasts, feeding our energies into shapes that cradled us and challenged them. Together, Italic echoed, locking eyes with me, determination straining against fear. We create a path forward. We pushed through, the pulsating energy enveloping us like a shield, redirecting attacks away from us, allowing continuity to flow. The rebels joined the dance, a flurry of forces aligning with our energy, igniting the flames of rebellion against the advancing tide. Seraphina's voice resonated within me, guiding my thoughts as I sought to expand the energy's potential. Do not merely react, anticipate their movements. Frame their hatred within the lens of creation. With a swift breath, I focused, drawing in the raw energy of the reactor beneath our feet. Its depth intertwined with every ounce of our resolve. I visualized pathways where chaos could not touch us, mirrors reflecting our intentions outwards, allowing the light to fractal and expand, enveloping the collective in a web of shimmering warmth. What followed was a breathtaking spectacle. The air thickened and shimmered with arcs of energy, swaths of brilliance swirling through the chamber, leaving behind a cacophony of awe-inspiring light. Talik surged forward, his hands carving arcs of energy through the darkness, illuminating the path while rallying the rebels towards collective purpose. Yet, the collective had not faltered. Despite the havoc unleashed against them, they too shifted, adapting their tactics with remarkable efficiency. Their leader, a harbinger of darkness, conjured a dark force that coiled around them, gaining momentum and essence, seeking to override the very energy we wielded. This will only end in ruin, the figure taunted, a knowing madness flickering in their gaze. You stand against a tide far greater than you can imagine. Is that what you see? Talik countered, unwavering even as shadows began to loom. Or are you merely afraid of what we may unleash together? The energy hummed, a resonant echo of unity, our spirits entwined fiercely as we pressed toward the collective. We would not be deterred. Seizing the opportunity, we summoned our energy into brighter spires. They raced toward the leader, unraveling the grasp of shadows that sought to imprison us. The collective forces faltered, blindsided as they were met with the brilliance driving our purpose. And now, we charged to free our world. I called, and as one, our collective energies erupted. A wave of refracted light crashed against the forces of the fifth collective, cascading around us, illuminating our journey as it surged to meet their encroaching darkness. The energy roared to life, racing through the chamber, feverish, unstoppable. It was breathtaking, a symphony of creation against the artifice of ruin. As the blinding force surged toward our foes, I turned my focus to the shadows lingering behind the leader. I could sense ripples of chaos urging forth. We needed to dislodge their hold, channel it, focus together. Talik yelled, leading the charge, entwined with an unwavering connection, invisible yet potent, rebounding our mutual strength. We pushed past the initial shards of darkness, drawing from the very essence intertwined with the reactor's core. The light met the shadows, forming electric patterns in the air. With determination, we struck at the heart of the fifth collective, aiming to unravel their corruption by merging everything we discovered from each cosmic thread, forging a new reality ripe with connections, rooted in compassion. But the leader of the collective was unfazed. "You think you can strip away our hold? This is merely the beginning." They gestured, and a torrent of energy lashed back, seeking to drown our light in an ocean of darkness. Churning shadows consolidated before us, summoned not just from the residual power within but the echoes of their ambition, their longing to dominate. I could feel the surge of their presence intensifying, rallying against our efforts. A look beyond. Seraphina's voice surged through me like burning fire, insight cutting through the chaos. "You're not just wielding energy." She spoke with clarity grounded in purpose. "You're crafting a universe that will rise against oppression." With that revelation, I drew deeper into the reactor's essence, igniting the connections with the stars that blanketed our world. "For every ounce of darkness we shall unleash our light," I shouted, aiming to breach the cauldron of shadows weaving against us. Talik nodded, the fire growing in his core. "Breathe," he guided, and as we united our energies, I could feel the power of our ancestors rushing forth. Each life fought against darkness bled into our shared spirit. "Channel the unity," I commanded. "Let's show them the consequence of their ambition." In response, layers of colors erupted, like a forgotten memory rekindled, stringing the worlds of hope and despair together. The blinding force whirled ferociously as we crafted new patterns that surged toward the encroaching tide of shadows, lighting the way forward as we threatened to unravel the forces of the fifth collective. A fraction of darkness crashed into us, and for a fleeting moment I felt myself falter under its weight. But as despair flickered, I caught Talik's glance, unwavering determination ignited within the depths of his gaze. His presence anchored me. Together, we shouted, and as one, we summoned forth energies cultivated through all known histories, the stories of those who resisted, who fought for freedom, who longed for connection. The essence of their spirits swirled within us like an unbreakable thread as light surged forth. We soared beyond our fears. With every clash against the collective's dark barrier, our determination echoed, challenging the complexity of their ambition with unyielding brilliance. The energy enveloped us both, entwined and pulsing as the vibrant light broke through. Suddenly the world ignited with visions reflecting back, darkness fraying and unraveling at the seams. As the energies collided, the force of our unshakable will erupted from within, tossing aside the collective like chaff in the wind. In that singular moment, I realized we were not separate beings. We were manifestations of starlight rising entwined within the unyielding grasp of the cosmos. Every drop of uncertainty fell away, and I became lost in the endless weave of energy that encompassed us, free to explore without redemption. We weren't just combatants, we were dreamweavers for a shared destiny. As the light surged onward, we struck at the remnants of the collective. The leader, glancing back, began to falter, their darkness tearing from the shadowy confines they relied upon. Defiance flickered within their gaze, but even they could not dim the brilliance we had summoned. "Stand together, rally behind the legacy of the Star Soul," I shouted, summoning the fragmented energies to finalize our ambitions. "We are the voices chaining this world together, a testament against malevolence," and with that, our combined force hurled forward, an incandescent surge of creativity and courage smashing against grays as darkness shrank, retreating in the wake of light. Yet, the universe wasn't finished with us yet. It teemed with unresolved chaos. As the energies tore through the remaining shadows, a new threat emerged. A resounding howl left by the leader, who now bore the remnants of their fury. "The foolish children," they cried, their voice echoing through time and space, growing louder, a resonant pain laced into despair. "You may have staved off ruin for a moment, but this battle is far from over. The shadows I conjured will outlast you. Beware." The air thickened with dread. The words sunk into the depths of our spirits. But as their shadows bled back towards them, Fury stitched with panic echoed in the light we had woven. The moment hung fragile in the air as I gazed at Talik, the resolve unwavering between us. This is not our only fight. We rise as guardians, and we have more to protect. I replied, my heart electrified. We've made our mark upon this moment. We must now extend our reach beyond these walls. The cosmic stirring surged into the very center of our beings, no longer divided, but complicit in active creation. As the remnants of agony transfixed their fading forms, we were reborn in the chaos, a monumental wave of light cascading across the battlefield with us standing at the helm. United, we wove the tapestry that would define the next age. Let us not allow shadows to become our only history, Italic amplified. We have stories yet to tell, and with that, our guiding energies erupted forth in ever-widening swaths, illuminating every dark recess. The clash of light and darkness juxtaposed within our universe bordered on terrifying, but as I pressed forward, I felt the unmistakable distance calling. Just as the shadows threatened to encapsulate the triumph of our souls, the secrets of the star soul resonated within, stirring in rebellion. This was not merely the culmination of conflict, but the story's resurgence, a new beginning. Together, we would not merely endure, we would embrace the whirlpool of energy as we transformed it into a channel of rebirth, an assuring reminder of what was possible when love, integrity, and courage intertwined beneath the stars. Onward, I called, the world resonating with promise as the battle blurred, our destinies intertwining, fortified by our shared sacrifice, guided by the power we had unleashed. In time, the echoes of that confrontation would drift into the abyss, but our legacy would remain inscribed across the stars. With heart racing and shoulders touching, I was ready to forge the next chapter alongside Talik, to awaken the legacy of the star soul and become the guardians of our world. Together, we would rise anew, intertwining our hopes and dreams, a constellation that would illuminate the centuries to come. The chamber pulsed with light, the very air vibrating with energy and possibility as we stood on the precipice of our choices. The remnants of the fifth collective were pulling back, but their threat wouldn't vanish quietly. Talik and I exchanged apprehensive glances as we prepared for the inevitable chaos that would soon follow. The reactor's soft hum resonated like a heartbeat, grounding us in a rhythm that matched our resolve. We need to harness the energy we unleashed, I said, my voice steady despite the turmoil encircling us. We must channel it into a wave of harmony, a beacon against the darkness. Talik nodded, his eyes reflective, tinged with an understanding that surged deeper than ambition. We have to embrace the guardianship offered by the Star Soul. We cannot just defend, we must inspire others to rise alongside us. It's time we forge a legacy, not just exist in the moment. The very notion of retribution tightened my chest, but it was accompanied by a fierce hope, the ability to mold the world we traversed. We envisioned a symphony of alliances capable of regeneration and revolution. Serafina observed us closely. You must remember that the shadows cast by the fifth collective are merely but echoes of their fear. As long as you project your light, collectively, their hold on this realm will weaken. Easier said than done, Talik muttered, but determination hung in his voice. How do we take this power and rally our people? With a wave of her hand, Serafina summoned a projection of the galaxy, twinkling like scattered diamonds against the oppression of darkness. You must step beyond the confines of this chamber. Spread the message of what wielding the Star Soul truly means. Ignite the hope in those who have long forgotten their own power. A flicker of doubt crept in, the enormity of what lay ahead flooding my thoughts. Could we truly be more than mere combatants against tyranny? The shadows of doubt lingered in the unyielding presence of the collective. Their influence loomed like a monstrous echo. Together we'll guide them, I murmured, my voice softening even as I grasped Talik's hand, electric and reassuring. Together, we will awaken the whispers of strength hidden within them. Talik squeezed my fingers, a testament of unwavering trust bending against uncertainty. Let's not just fight oppression. Let's awaken a revolution. His words were as radiant as the light we had conjured, blazing a path from despair to transformation. Without looking back, we surged forth from the reactor chamber and emerged into the open space of dialects. The city basked in a twilight glow. Where once the shadows sought to devour the heart of our planet, a new wave of possibility spread before us, the energy of hope stirring within the citizens, even as remnants of fear threatened to tether them back into silence. As we reached the bustling center of the city, I could sense the collective energy, the tension woven into the very fabric of society. The scars of anxiety intermingled with whispers of camaraderie. People gathered, their expressions a mixture of confusion and intrigue, as news of our encounter rippled through the streets. Citizens of dialects. Talek raised his voice, amplified by the connection we had forged with the Star Soul. The time has come to reclaim our power. No longer shall we let fear dictate our future. Together, we can rise against those who seek to dominate us. A ripple of uncertainty surged through the crowd. But, beneath it, I felt the pulse of latent energy, curiosity, flaring like the flicker of kindling in a dormant fire. Who are we without our power? I shouted, harnessing the energy shared between Talek and myself. Well, what defines us is not only the battles we've endured, but the connections we forge in moments of chaos. The fifth collective thrives on division, but we hold the strength of unity within us. Together, we can precursor a new legacy. A chorus of murmurs spread through the crowd like wildfire. Some eyes flickered with recognition while others shone with uncertainty. I saw families clutching one another, veterans of the struggles etched deeply on their faces. The darkness they bring is not stronger than the light we can cultivate, Italic urged, stepping closer to the crowd. We too are guardians of the Star Soul. Feel the power resonating within you. You are more than mere spectators. At that moment, a figure emerged from the crowd. A woman with stark silver hair, eyes filled with anguish. Oh, but how can we trust? We stood against the shadows before, only to have them rise against us. Her voice trembled, the pain embedded in its notes tableauing the depths of her despair. We understand your hesitance, I replied, stepping forward to meet her gaze. But the time has come to finally unite our voices. The stars turn. We must embrace the power of our unity. The shadows lurking in our past do not wield greater power than the hope binding us together. Around us, glimmers of recognition began to twinkle, questions morphing into sparks of curiosity. We were crafting a tapestry unified in purpose, awakening dormant longings for connection. Your pursuit of the Star Soul was born of desperation, driven by power to dominate. Talek continued, the depths of his conviction sunny amidst looming uncertainties. But we can shift the narrative. We will channel our energy into rebirth, into guiding every disenfranchised spirit of our empire. Rise with us, yet still shadows lingered. From the outskirts emerged silhouettes clad in the dark regalia of the Fifth Collective. Their leader stepped forward, the exuding presence of menace looming at the precipice of our strides. This charade cannot sustain you. Their voice boomed, equal parts audacious and unyielding. You seek to rally a fractured world with empty promises. Our hold on the galaxy is stronger than ever. But fear swept the crowd, echoing like a haunting refrain as drive surged through my veins, an innate yearning to swing hope against oblivion. They only wish to ensure you remain divided. I challenged, anticipation lighting my voice as the people's gaze shifted to me, weaving threads of resolve together. That is their only weapon, but we have a better way, a legacy born from our shared humanity, all woven in harmony beyond despair. I refuse to let fear dismantle our spirit, Talek echoed. We will embrace change so your empty threats carry no weight against the guardians we have become. And in that moment, the culmination of my own resolve surged, blending with the energy coursing through the crowd. Something greater began to shift. The air crackled with apprehension turned anticipation. Hope swelled with defiance. a ripple of unity blossoming in these chaotic dawns. Join us, I implored, directing my fervent gaze toward the leader of the collective. We're not asking for obedience, only the chance at unity, to rise as a force against division. Let us transcend the shadows, not just for ourselves, but for the worlds around us. It was a bold declaration that layered the air with gravity. The gasps of uncertainty rose, mingling with reflections of hope that flashed in their eyes. 100 lives reborn in this monumental moment. Will you stand against the sentinel of darkness that has held you captive for so long? I called to the crowd, challenging each of them to evoke the power within. Or will you stand not as isolated souls, but as weavers of our fate? The shadows lingered, but they surged against the fabric of our defiance, gnashing as hope ignited like a supernova. The crowd's murmur transformed into a swell of determination, their hearts resonating, standing together against the encroaching darkness. Let us stand united. Talik's voice resonated, and in unison, the people surged forward, a tide of promise, a declaration of resilience. The echoes of dissent transformed into ascension as the collective onslaught ignited, a fervor capable of piercing the night. We embraced the energy, channeling the connections radiating within us. The very essence of the star soul flowed from the hearts of those assembled, empowering our safety nets as sparks of brilliance erupted from the shadows. Yet, the fifth collective would not retreat without a fight. The darkness writhed against our growing unity, realizations of defiance shifting in the air as the leader grasped for control. You can't unite against us, the echoes of chaos you conjure are fleeting. A surge of desperation rose, memories floating back amidst the warmth. We were not mere folk attempting to rally against ambition. We were the very aspirations that would transcend the call of empire against our ideals. Together, as guardians, I shouted, my heart racing at the recognition shared between Talik and myself. His resolve would guide us, guiding the energy swirling amidst each connection that bound us. I will not yield, I declared, voice alight with emboldened conviction. The essence of our unity clashed with shadows, a cascade of luminescence intricately entwined within our hearts, surging outward to protect our realm from ruin. As the collective's tentacles of darkness closed in, we drew deeper from the reservoir forged within. A focus driven by each heartbeat, a connection renewed in purpose, suffusing the fabric of our reality. And with a final collective surge, we split through the gathering shadows, the brilliance of our hope overpowering the weight of their ambitions. The echoes of our voices rose high as we struck back against the encroaching darkness, illuminating a radiant tapestry of rebellion against oppression, the legacy we had waited our entire lives to forge. Time folded, chaos settled, and as clarity emerged from the remnants of that battle, I understood we were not merely fighting oppression. We were embracing transformation, birthing a world resplendent with possibility. In that moment, as the dust settled, I witnessed the collective light pulsating throughout dialects our voices harmonized, weaving a record that would ripple through time, invoking the legacy of the star soul and etching our triumph against hopelessness for eons to come. As we moved toward the future, Talik and I stood shoulder to shoulder, guardians reborn, intertwined in shared purpose, ready to embrace what lay ahead together. The suffusion of unity wrapped us, a tapestry woven through every heartbeat, each step we took toward the promise of the stars. In time, the shadows would recede. We would forge a new narrative not just for ourselves, but for every soul roving the universal threads, reminded that we are stronger united. We are the light of the stars. Together, we would rise. In the luminous aftermath of the battle, the hum of energy crackling in the air morphed into a soft melody, flowing through the avenues of dialects like the whispers of scattered stardust. The dust began to settle around us, unraveling the remnants of chaos, and the citizens stood together with a newfound determination ignited within their spirits. Talik and I had forged a connection with the Star Soul, an essence that pulsated through our community, a resolve that promised transformation beyond resistance. The aftermath of our confrontation hung heavy in the air, thick with uncertainty and the sweet tang of hope. We'd faced the fifth collective, a faceless threat, rendered vulnerable by our collective courage. The echoes of our battle reverberated within us, shaking the remnants of fear that had long held sway over our world. But uncertainty still loomed. "We did it, didn't we?" I said softly as Talek surveyed our surroundings. His expression betrayed a blend of exhaustion and exhilaration, a reflection of the turbulent journey that lay behind us. "We've ignited something." Talek nodded, his gaze fixed on the gathering crowd. "But we can't stop here. This was just one fight. We've only just begun." Despite the lingering buzz, a sense of presence encroached around us. The fear that had sparked hesitation within our path was not entirely extinguished. Lingering remnants of the collective would not be easy to vanquish, not if they still existed as shadows behind the curtain of chaos. Seraphina stepped forward, her robes glistening in the aftermath like an ethereal beacon. "What you've done is extraordinary. A shift within the tides of the universe, if you will. But the fifth collective will not relent. They're being instigated by something darker." "What do you mean?" Talek asked, his brows knitting together. "The leader of the collective is merely a pawn in a much larger game, a network that stretches across the galaxy itself. You may have avenged the skirmish, but there are deeper layers at play here. Like the stars that align and shift, we must prepare for the complexities that accompany freedom." Her words unfurled a tapestry of recognition within me. For all the courage we'd harnessed, I could sense the shadows shifting at the edges of our unity. Discontent lingered, festering like a wound beneath the surface. "So, what must we do?" I queried, hoping to tether hope to resolve. "The journey you've embarked upon is not merely about regaining control or battling against a faction. It's about fostering a revolution. It's about awakening those who wander in the shadows of apathy. You must become the beacons of hope, igniting not just rebellion but coming together for a cause far beyond ambition." As Seraphina spoke, the vision of what that cause could be unfurled like a scroll in my mind, change that spanned far beyond any singular conflict. "We need to reach each sector of Dialects, rallying the hearts of those lost in despair. They must feel the power of our unity. We have to send ripples through the populace." "Yes," Talek agreed, his spirit rekindling with purpose. "Let us not just defend. Let us inspire all those who dare to dream. We'll not only stand against the darkness but weave a new narrative, one that empowers the many rather than the few." We turned back to the crowd, where faces murmured in recognition of our shared mission, eager but wary, ready yet uncertain. I stepped forward, drawing the attention of each set of eyes swirling with hope and dread. "Citizens of Dialects, what we achieved is a testament of our unity. But this is but a mere glimmer of what we can accomplish together." As I spoke, their expressions shifted. Anticipation mingled with uncertainty, doubt turning to courage beneath deliberate illumination. Together, we become guardians not only against the collective, but against despair itself. We have learned that the strength of our bonds can illuminate the darkest corners of our existence. Cheers erupted amongst the crowd, like the igniting pulse of a solar flare, energy rippling through the atmosphere. Today, we are not merely survivors, we are warriors of change. Carries this strength into the hearts of our neighbors, transform fear into action and whispers of discontent into declarations of change. I cried, the conviction of my voice shaking the ground beneath me. Crowd responded, a harmony threading through life's costs and pledges, lifting spirits in burgeoning resolve. Talek stepped beside me, igniting the atmosphere with vibrant enthusiasm. "We'll distribute resources, collect intelligence, forge alliances where we can. We invite those curious souls to join us. We will not only fight, we'll create the pathways toward a better future. Together, we shall spread whispers far and wide." With a flourish, we summoned forth the energy within the reactor chamber, branches of light expanding outward like fireworks exploding through the city. Our messages rippled, drawing attention as they entwined with the hopes and fears of Dialects. As voices lifted, blended into a single, resonant note, I caught a fleeting glance from Seraphina. Her knowing smile illuminated the depths of her wisdom, echoing wider truths hinting at the cosmic tides awaiting us. The world ahead glimmered, radiant and unformed. Little did I realize that our strides toward transformation could invoke not only admiration, but the anger of dormant threats, the tantalizing remnants waiting for reconnaissance from the shadows. Each corner of dialects lit with sparkles of hope, and as we rallied neighborhoods, rekindling fires within long-faded hearts, I felt somewhere, deep beneath the surface, that the Fifth Collective was plotting its next move. Days shifted into weeks, our momentum unwavering as we harnessed paths of hope and determination amidst the darkness. I could feel the Guardians emerging from every home, every gathering. A wave of renewed unity coursing through our city like a pulse as we began to weave our community closer together. Yet whispers of dissent still lingered. I felt it in the corners of my mind. Every rebirth carried a reminder of the darkness lurking from the edges, a spark of caution pushing its way into the back of my consciousness. One night, as I gazed up at the flecked indigo canopy studded with shimmering stars, a wave of unease washed over me. The cosmos opened, revealing hidden veins of energy, threads, and paths yet unseen. How do we remain anchored amidst the relentless tides of change? Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath me, a low hum echoing across the city designed to awaken the dormant shadows beneath our feet. Our spirits resoundingly echoed. I realized they were mobilizing, and we would need to confront the shadows yet again. Talek, I called urgently, rushing into the gathering where he stood before the people, realizing the threat stirring from the distance. The collective is coming. His expression hardened, determination mixing with awareness. It's time we prepare for the final confrontation. We harnessed power from Wythe, Int, but now we must prepare our forces to truly stand against the shadows that threaten to engulf us. The people are ready, but if they come for us, we have to protect the city. Rally every guardian, I urged, a sense of urgency tugging at the edge of my resolve. I will reach out to those who have stood with us, ensure everyone is fortified and prepared. Talek pledged, his voice steady even as urgency coursed through us like an electric arc. As I glanced around, the gathering solidified, eyes burning with resolve. The guardians resolute, prepared to stand against the encroaching tide. But beneath it all, uncertainty roamed unbidden, a thread of apprehension refusing to be silenced. What might we become in the forthcoming conflict? Each decision, each connection, felt significant. It determined our fate beneath the weight of looming stars. A continuity echoing against ambitions undone. Tension gripped the air as we moved among the assembled guardians, gathering our resolve, extricating ourselves from the many pathways that spilt toward despair. The interconnected web of energy began to receive its first threads of urgency. Gather your focus, drive strength into the essence of unity, I urged, channeling energy that blended with those gathered around. Let our hearts resound together, a guiding light against the storm swirling. Together, we are the fabric of our tomorrow, woven together through purpose and courage. As the energy swirled in the air, a soft light emerged like a gentle breeze rising, lifting spirits knitted in our unity, a reminder that even when darkness threatened, we would share the burden. And then, as if punctuating our determination, a figure materialized from the shadows, the collective, led by their armored leader, their ominous presence moving through the crowds with icy intentions. There you are, toying with hope like a puppet on strings, the leader proclaimed, their voice cold and devoid of compassion. What do you hope to achieve, guardians? Unity cannot conquer destiny. A sudden rush of fear rippled through the crowd, but instinctively our energies sparked concurrently. Together we can bend destiny, I shouted against their looming presence, defiantly meeting their gaze. Together we will forge a new reality. The leader scoffed, the pitiless darkness swirling about them. Then let's see just how strong your threads of courage truly are. Let's end this charade. At that moment, fear transformed itself into determination. I turned to Talek, who stood resolute beside me, flames of conviction igniting in his eyes. Ready? His nod was all I needed. complementing the energy that surged through me as I prepared for what lay ahead, ready to confront the darkness that haunted our past. A chance to reclaim what the Star Soul had offered us, unity against the shadows. With one final breath, we surged forward, intertwined, ready to embrace the confrontation ahead. Together as guardians warriors beneath the stars aiming for brilliance, ready to sculpt the legacy of tomorrow amidst the ever-looming shadows. The air crackled with tension as the Fifth Collective's presence settled over the city like a storm cloud, dark and impenetrable. Their leader, embodied in shadowy armor, loomed before us, the embodiment of fear and ambition, a menacing reminder of what awaited should we falter. The Guardians rallied alongside Talik and me. We stood united as bulwarks against the impending storm. All around us, the renewed energy pulsated, intertwined with courage forged from the fires of our recent struggle. Your courage is commendable, but it won't matter against the forces of destiny. The leader's voice was a low, resonant growl, oozing disdain. The collective will rise again, stronger and more unified than your fleeting hopes. A grand rebellion will never sway the inevitability of control. The flickers of fear danced in the eyes of the assembled guardians, yet beneath those fragile flames, new embers of determination rekindled. They would not fall easily. Destiny isn't as set as you believe. I replied, my voice steady, a decree against the pull of darkness. We hold the power of choice, bound by our shared resolve. I stepped forward, channeling the energy reverberating within me, conjuring threads of light that coalesced in response, shimmering like wings woven from stardust. Together, we can redefine destiny. We are the architects of our own story. Talik stood by my side, the vibrant light of hope reflecting in his eyes. We've faced shadows before, and trust me, they only grow in desperation. This time, we'll break their chains, revealing the truth hidden beneath their mask of control. His fire reignited the hearts of those gathered, reinforcing the rhythm of defiance surging through our numbers. The leader of the collective narrowed their eyes, glancing toward the rebels behind us, assessing our resolve as though it were a fragile trinket hovering just beyond their grasp. You think you can simply will away the darkness, you're deluded. They motioned, and the shadows tightened around them, a dark vortex preparing for a strike. Yet, as the swirling mass churned, I could feel the energy surrounding us grow denser, embodying the spirit of unity that defied their embrace. Stand together, guardians, I called, reaching deep into our shared essence, calling upon the star soul that illuminated our purpose. We will not be shaken. Today, we fight not only for ourselves, but for every voice drowned in despair. Rally your strength, harness it, and let it surge through your hearts. A brilliant light shattered the shadows swirling around us, illuminating the faces of the guardians who rallied behind us. The energy soared to colossal heights, streaking across the sky while rallying echoes of our hearts synchronized against the impending threat. We breathed deep, summoning our collective will, a symphony orchestrated by faith and courage stretching far beyond the horizon. The collective surged forward, their dark blades glinting menacingly, aiming to break our newfound unity. My heart raced, adrenaline coursing through me like wildfire. And now, I shouted, unleashing an eruption of energy as we collided with the oncoming storm, a wrestle of light against the growing murkiness, determination clashing audaciously against malevolence. As the energies collided, a shockwave rippled across dialects. Lights exploded into vibrant colors, illuminating the once hollowed streets, bathing them in the pulsating brilliance of rebellion. The guardians pushed forward, channeling the energy into tangible defenses against the onslaught facing us. Focus on the light, Talik yelled, rallying the guardians. Join our hearts. Let our promises forge the stakes against this darkness. The audience responded in measured intensity, with beams of light shimmering in their hands, igniting a collective resolve against our enemies. The chaos emerged like treachery incarnate, yet our power surged, rippling through the air in harmonious overtures, weaving shields of hope that blanketed the guardians. With each clash against the collective, the balance shifted. The shadows cowered at the vibrancy. But just moments into our dance of defiance, the collective leader unleashed a powerful piece of machinery. A massive, dark construct stormed toward us, built from a combination of rusted metals and twisted emotions. A dragging, sentient apparatus reflecting their corrupt ambitions. An embodiment of the very darkness it craved to uphold. Your bravado won't save you from this clashing reality, the leader proclaimed, their voice a mix of arrogance and desperation, layers of fear swirling beneath. Face the culmination of your failure. With a swift motion, the mechanized beast initiated its pulsing offense, metal arms flailing like furious gales that sought to scatter us in chaos. Guardians, our bond is our shield, Talik yelled. We must channel our energy and take it down, yet the daunting task nestled in the pit of my stomach. My heart raced as doubts weaved through the resolute fabric of our unity. Focus, I shouted, recalling the essence of our experiences together. The shadows we'd faced, the hopes we had ignited, and the very foundation of our bonds that fortified our strengths. We joined hands, the pulsating energy reflecting our resilience, intertwined as we forged a barrier. We will not break. Together, we will unravel this machine of malice. In rhythmic unison, we poured our strength forth, channeling blinding brilliance toward the mechanical monstrosity, pushing the folds of energy into palpable waves that struck against the dread of its form, illuminating the battle as we united our hearts. As the impact erupted, flashes surged. The shadows waned against the vibrant radiance born from the depths of despair. Huddled together, we held the line against the weight of cynicism, the dark energy wavering as our will resonated with relentless force. I felt the essence of the star soul igniting as we emerged. Hold the line, Talik urged, fire guiding the momentum of our collective strength, striving against the growing enormity of the beast. We must embrace transformation, and even as it falters, we show our resolve, pushing back with every ounce of courage we possess. The waves of light coalesced, thrummed, and pushed forward, turning the tides of the encroaching shadows. The metallic behemoth faltered under our unified energies, cracks forming within its surface as new pathways illuminated the audience echoing our ambitions. Yet the collective's leader was undeterred. Seething, they called forth remnants of their forces, hundreds of figures drawing their weapons, readying for an offense. But our resolve had ignited bushfires of rebellion. Every guardian unleashed the light embedded within, channeling dreams lost and futures unborn, creating an overwhelming wave before the flattening shadows. Together, I roared, tapping into the depths of my conviction. We are the storm unleashed. We are greater than the fears they invoke. Waves of energy surged forth again, crackling against the dark forms advancing toward us, ready to drown out our collective. And in that moment, something shifted. A realization ignited within me. Demonizing the darkness only spread their tendrils further. No, we cannot let hatred shackle our hearts. We stand united, formidable against their apprehension, but filled with the light of our hearts. Together, we create pathways away from disillusionment. The fabric of our energy flipped. A wave of illumination blossoming, washing over the battlefield until nothing but possibility surged against the collective's darkness. In the swell of brilliance, I felt our destinies intertwining like rivers, merging beneath starlit skies. As the onslaught collided against our storm of unity, I could see Talik blossoming with strength. I could see it within the crowd that had gathered, partners rallying together with renewed courage, awakening hearts across dialects. What will you choose? I called to them, rallying my voice to penetrate the isolation, clinging tightly to the edges of fear. Will you choose to follow the shadows that seek to extinguish our light, or will you rise with us, transforming this world of whispers into powerful declarations? And amidst the sky turning violet, thunderous cheers erupted, a chorus resounding through the air, a tidal wave shaking the very foundations around us. The guardians stepped forward, their joined hands pooling warmth, embracing the rhythm of our fervent intentions against the shadows that menaced. We will not be defined by fear, Talik shouted, his weight cracking forth as blinding flames of starlight surged toward the shadows, challenging the machine's grasp. We are the architects of our futures, guardians rise against despair, as determined as the chilling night, our voices united into a singular note, crafting a melody forged in the very essence of hope. The fervent vow transcending mere struggles, we would cleanse this reality, turn it upon its twisted roots, and reforge destinies. The air crackled as the shadows buckled and twisted as they confronted our united light. You thrive only in the ashes of loss, the leader spat, venom tinged in their voice. But chains of ambition are not easily undone. Chains, perhaps, I said, a smile creeping along my lips, a warm current of resolve igniting the very depths of my soul. But today, we've woven chains of spirit forged in light. Let it shine forth. With that proclamation, we thrust our combined energies forth once more, intertwining our fates in defiant defiance. Blinding arcs of light emerged as if emanating from countless stars, engulfing the looming shadows and forcing them to recoil. Yet still, amidst the surging brilliance, the shadowy leader retreated, shadows swirling around them as they appeared to falter. You will regret this recklessness, guardians, they snarled, eyes shimmering with an alarming glow, rage seeping deep into the fabric of darkness. You cannot preserve what you do not understand. We'll fight to understand, we'll rise and we will prevail, I countered, resolute. Our light binds us in ways you cannot even imagine. Your malevolence will crumble in time. As the storm surged, merging battlefield echoes against hope's promise, we pushed onward, unwavering as a tide of guardians rallied forth. A surging battalion embodying everything about the light we could kindle together. And as the shadows writhed closer to confrontation, uncertainty coiled in the air, yet the flickering surface of our destiny unfurled brighter than stars birthed through blackened skies, knitted tightly with our beliefs and resolution. The momentum started anew. It was a moment of transcendence, folding every thread of our intentions into bonds unyielding against despair, a symphony echoing a profound truth. We would forge our narrative together, unfurling the dawn from the dusk. And there we stood, spinning together within the embrace of a starlit future, ready to reshape everything together. The darkness coiled around us, pressing in with an intensity that threatened to smother the light we had just begun to weave together. The air crackled with energy, and I could feel every heartbeat echo in unison with Talix. It was a steady rhythm that pulsed, reminding me that we were not alone. The guardians stood resolute, drawing strength from every silence broken around them, each face emboldened with a determination that blazed like fireflies against the increasing shadow. As the leaders of the fifth collective squared off against us, a sense of dread tightened in my chest. We had gathered immense power through our unity, but the weight of their malevolence still loomed large. The hulking machine of darkness surged ominously forward, cloaked in the cries of destruction and corruption. It seemed invincible, pulsing like a black hole waiting to consume everything in its proximity. Together, Talix shouted, and the word resonated, igniting the air like a spark igniting tinder. The guardians rallied behind us, hands interlinked, forming a shimmering chain of collective will that intertwined light and purpose. I felt that electricity, a symbiotic bond thrumming deep within, channeling the essence of the star soul through our collective spirit, feeding our resolve to stand firm. We surged forward, a tidal wave of starlight against the oppressive storm gathering before us. Remember what we stand for, I shouted, urging everyone forward. For every ounce of darkness that seeks to consume us, we will create paths of light to rival it. Our voices harmonized, a melody that fused purpose with energy, knitting itself into a singular force of defiance. The leader of the fifth collective snarled, brandishing their gleaming weapon sharply as tendrils of darkness snapped around them, twisting with a vengeful fury. You are fools to think you can conquer me. This universe is built on fear, and I will plunge it into chaos once again. Their voice echoed with a chilling finality as strands of shadow lashed out, attempting to sever our unity. "Not today," Talik roared, drawing on the energy surrounding us. The Guardians echoed his fervor, combined strength amplifying as we combined our energies, forming a pulse that resonated throughout the crowd. We forged threads of light that entwined with the shadows, a balance between fury and fortitude shaping the battlefield before us. In that moment, the colossal machine lumbered forth, metal limbs crackling with dormant energies surging to life. The behemoth reared back, a massive fist lined with jagged edges aimed directly at us, a representation of their intent to crush our resolve into oblivion. Panic rippled among the Guardians, but instinct guided me. "Rally the light, focus on the center," I instructed, visualizing a new reality bursting forth from the embers of hope flickering around us. As fear morphed into resolve, we executed the very formation we practiced, but hadn't yet perfected, formulating a barrier of light to absorb the darkness coiling inward. With a collective breath, we stepped into our formation, weaving our energies around the constricting shadow, drawing it inward. Waves of energy crashed against the machine's onslaught, and light clashed with dark, a brilliant kaleidoscope igniting against the stifling miasma. Talik raised his arms, summoning forth energy as he spoke, infusing our hearts with courage. "It is in the binding that we find our strength. Together we defy the darkness. Together we are greater than fear." The power surged. Light wrapped around us tightly as we forged a newfound promise. A barrier not just against darkness, but woven through every heartbeat, every pulse of unity anchoring us to one another. As the shadowy machine barreled down upon us, darkness recoiled against our combined essence, shifting shadows swirling momentarily weakly before the vibrancy engulfed them. The light flickered like a beacon, shining brightly against despair's grasp. "It pushed through," I cried, my voice capturing the flame within us, igniting collective energy. "Let the threads of our spirits intertwine and guide us to triumph. We are guardians, unfurling light against a burgeoning void." The Guardians surged forward in unison, every pulse igniting anew, a surge of defiance swelling amongst us as we pressed the attack. In that electric moment, as light burst forth, something shifted. The sight of our souls intertwining the echoes of justice and unity forged itself anew, creating a phoenix that soared forth from the ashes of doubt. The shadows shrieked, recoiling as if burnt by the blazing radiance we wielded, torn between retreat and destruction. "Your time is over," I shouted, my heart aflame as the power surged to its zenith, wrapping around me and the Guardians. With one final crescendo, I channeled all the energy. Our aura exploded forth into the heart of the shadowy machine, illuminating the darkness with blinding brilliance. The behemoth faltered, its darkest assemblies shattering under the weight of our united light, fracturing beautifully into bursts of color that blanketed the ground beneath our feet. The leader of the fifth collective screamed, a guttural cry of desperation drenched in a chaos that no longer had dominion over us. And the swirling shadows began to collapse, their power dwindling with each pulse of our collective resolve. We held firm, creating cascading waves that swept through the remnants of the darkness, the echoes of our collective strengths radiating power, light, and purpose across the battlefield. The collective's leader staggered backwards, their expression of horror morphing into recognition, as if they now understood that darkness could only endure as long as the light flickered in despair. "Your arrogance has blinded you to the undeniable truth you cannot extinguish hope," I declared, the figure of resolve crystallizing with every word. With one last surge of energy, the remaining pieces crumbled, swallowed by the tide of unity washing over us, dispersing what shadows remained into the ether. With the violence of the veils torn away, the Guardians stood back, terror relinquished, standing resolute against the backdrop of our luminous determination. The cries of the collective had dwindled to whispers, and as silence reclaimed the space, our spirits began to ground. Amidst the fading tendrils of darkness, the crowd erupted into cheers, a kaleidoscope of voices proclaiming freedom and resilience, creating an anthem of hope. The collective effort transformed the energy around us as we stood together. Twinges of laughter and urgency filling the air as we celebrated what had felt impossible just moments ago. "Italic, we did it." I turned to him, bright exuberance ringing through my heart, feeling vibrant and alive in ways unimaginable. Together we made this happen. The weight of the moment enveloped me, a surreal dream intermingling with reality. Yet, as the echoes of celebration filled the air, a flicker in the distance caught my eye. A whispering shadow remained, curling at the edges of our victory. Serafina stepped forth, interlocking her gaze with mine. Urgency etched across her face. "We've won a battle, but the war has only just begun," she warned, casting a look towards the littered remnants of the Fifth Collective. "This darkness will rise again. We must prepare." But her voice was not one of despair. Rather, it morphed into a catalyst for action. A call to awaken the spirits still lying within the populace. Each heart awakened is a potential guardian of change, Serafina continued, her gaze sweeping across the crowd. But together, we must cultivate that awakening and harness the truth revealed within us. We will not simply defend. We will fortify our bonds, educate, inspire, and rescue those who lost their way. Every face in the crowd shifted. Recognition dawned, light igniting possibilities anew. Vibrant currents surged through the assembled guardians, intertwining threads of action as we recaptured the momentum. It dawned upon me, the battles behind us were stepping stones toward a grander narrative, a journey we would carry together. "We will become the architects of our future," I proclaimed, my heart racing with renewed purpose. "We've bound together, our hopes, our legacies intertwined. This is not an end, this is our beginning. Together, we'll ignite sparks of hope across the universe." The cheers erupted anew, echoing amongst the stars, transforming our victory into an enduring battle cry, filled with promises of change. As the whispers of darkness receded from the horizon, Talik turned to me, breaths coming steady amidst the growing clamor. "Together, we're more than guardians. We are the embodiment of hope," he said, the flicker of his voice igniting purpose within me. "This world will rise, and we shall shape it in the image of resilience and unity. The guardians of the Star Soul vow to fight not just the shadows, but to sow seeds of light wherever we tread." And as the evening stretched across the horizon, we bore witness to the dawn unfurling. A horizon now tinted with endless possibilities glimmering under the golden sheen of the sunrise. Together, under the starlit embrace of our legacy, we embarked upon a journey to reclaim every shadow, to awaken every heart, and to nurture an everlasting glow etched into the fabric of the cosmos. From battles forged in the fires of despair, we clambered forward, ready to reshape destiny, because today was just the beginning. Our legacy would echo throughout the stars as the guardians of hope, illuminating the path against despair for generations yet to come. Wherever the shadows sought to encroach, we would be their tenacious, unwavering guardians of tomorrow.